Salve, salve galerinha, aqui trazendo mais vídeo pro canal. Galerinha, hoje nós vamos estar jogando aqui o Genshin Impact e no vídeo de hoje a gente vai dar continuidade aqui à nossa missão do arconte, né? Aqui, hostilidade no grupo. Espero que vocês gostem, deixa aquele like, se inscreva no canal. Caso você não seja inscrito, Vitor Dias, ative aí o sininho das notificações para você receber a notificação dos vídeos. E vamos subir aqui, né? Tá. Chegamos aqui.
We finally made it to Caravan Rebot. So, just past this wall is the... Oh, wow. Paimon remembers hearing people call this the Wall of Samiel. It's made to block sandstorms from the outside. Oh, if it's this...
Enough gawking. Come on, follow me.
Huh?
Over here.
Oh, Hatham went that way! Let's hurry up and follow him. Wonder what he's up to.
Ali tem teleporte aqui. Vixe, tem uns guardas que estão atrás dele, né?
What the? Where did she go? How did we lose them? They were...
More Aramite mercenaries? Who are they working for this time?
You were too careless. You should have noticed those hopeless amateurs trailing you a long time ago. There's no need to thank me. I've never cared to keep track of personal favors. All I did was correct a mistake I happened to come across. It's a habit I developed at the academy.
You really gave Paimon a scare, Al-Hatham. We never thought we'd run into you. Last time we met at Port Ormos, didn't you say you were going back to the Academia? Wait.
Oh, so you've already landed yourselves on the Academia's hit list. However, had I wished to turn you over to the Academia, don't you think—
Oh, right. You do have a point.
I have no interest in running errands for that project. As a scholar, I've always belonged to the camp that promote— And these days, you're more fascinating than anything the sages can offer. Not quite. To tell you the truth, I'm still investigating the Divine Knowledge Capsule. Everyone says the capsule originated in the desert and was eventually moved to Port Ormos. If I am to— Which brings me back to you, and why the leader of Ainul Ahmar used the Divine Knowledge Capsule right in front of you. And upon seeing him, your expression became perplexed. And to have that kind of reaction, I think you must have realized something.
Al-Hatham, you really have a ridiculous eye.
So that's your answer. But that does prove you do have some undisclosed information about the Divine Knowledge Capsule. No matter. Rather than
That's right! We have the same plan as you! But we don't really have any—
Then I'd suggest starting with Aru Village.
It's always better to travel with—
Tá. Ah.
Before us lies Aru Village.
Whoa.
Alguém passou correndo? Ó.
time. Unless my memory fails me, we have barely spoken 2 words to each other before now at the Academia. Would you care to enlighten me as to when and how I invited the General Mahamatra's wrath?
Oh, Hatham. Do not think you can escape my judgment, just because you managed to escape my attack.
Judgment? So that's how you'd characterize your actions here, is it?
Had I used my full strength, not even this traveler would have been able to stop me. Though styled like an assassin, it
Seemed to me more like...
Who is that, Al-Haytham?
Yes. General Mahamatra Sino, head of all the Matra at the Academia.
You seem to have placed a lot of trust in Al-Haytham. If I were you, I'd never choose to side with him. I have been pursuing this scribe for a long time. I urge you, stand back and do not seek to defend him any longer. Otherwise, there will be...
Has Al-Haytham done something wrong?
I won't waste my breath explaining. Take it out. The divine knowledge capsule you're hiding on your person.
Very perceptive of you. Nothing escaped.
Wait, the divine knowledge capsule? Didn't it fall into the Matra's hands in Port Ormos?
No wonder you speak with such confidence, Sino. But I must admit, I'm very curious. And why, as General Mahamatra of the Academia, as far as I'm aware, the other Matra have been Have you been given a mission that's... If I was the real target of your mission, what was stopping you from simply using your authority and resources?
I should have known you'd be difficult to deal with.
You two? Ugh! What you would do?
Ahem. Well, look at you two, acting all tough and self-righteous over there.
Wait, Dia? Great! Finally, someone down. You gotta help us out here. Otherwise, these two are gonna start fighting.
Yeah, sure looks that way. 2 giants from the Academia duking it out once and for all. Not something... Listen, I know you academic types love to fill up your big brains with self-righteous morality and lord your empty rule, but how dare you bring your petty disputes into the safe... It seems like someone's gonna have to beat some... Hey, did either...
Whoa, what's going on? The wind's so...
Another sandstorm? What's up with these recently?
Hey! All of you, over here, quick!
Someone's calling for us!
That sounded like Candace. Come on, you two. Jeez, are all...
All right, stop yelling.
Hey, wanna play sardines with 3 people who wanna tear each other limb from... the air is so thick and heavy. Paimon can hardly keep floating anymore.
My sincere apologies, everyone. This is the home of our village chief. I will have to ask you to make do with this small room until... Please, let me introduce myself. I am Candace, protector of Aru Village.
Our savior is... Nice to meet you, Candace. The name's Paimon. Thank you so much for helping us.
There's no need to thank me. It's only right to help.
Wow, she's so gentle and caring, like a nice older sister.
All right. Now that we're all better acquainted, as a guardian charged with the responsibility to protect my fellow villagers from harm, I was observing, and now that you have set foot within our village itself, it is all the more my responsibility to make absolutely sure. So please, have an honest and sincere conversation with one, and if anyone dares to start anything again while they are under this roof, I will not hesitate to send them out for some quality.
Oh, on sec...
And that goes for you too, Miss Dia. Do I make myself...
All right, we got...
That's what I like.
I was supposed to be a mediator, but I might have gotten a little too involved just now.
Wait, that was you trying...
I have nothing to hide. so there's no shame in explaining myself. While Alhaitham wasn't wrong about the other Matra not knowing my whereabouts, it's not because I've been assigned. Rather,
Huh?
a little while ago, I discovered that there was data missing in the Academia's project planning and development files. As General Mahamatra, I had the responsibility and authority to request an audit. I tried to investigate the issue myself before submitting a formal audit request, but I soon found that all leads and potential... I began to realize that they were caught. Unsurprisingly, the Grand Sage rejected my audit request as soon as the submission reached his desk. The power of the General Mahamatra is granted by the sages. You have no right...
So they really are up to no good.
I realized then that to the Grand Sage, the Matra are nothing more than tools for the sages to assert and maintain their control. The vows that we took, the principles that we strive to uphold, they are meaningless to the Academia of today. I believed it would be wise to flee the Academia before the sages had a chance to take action against me. I will never give up on this investigation. There's no need for someone else to give me power or authority.
Sino seems to have the same goal as us. We're all investigating the sages. Plus, now that he's no longer the General Mahamatra, he somehow feels a lot less scared. Well, Sino, if that's your story, then why did you see Alhaitham as a target?
When I was investigating the matter in the Academia, I overheard a conversation between Alhaitham and a sage. The sages asked you to investigate a blonde-haired traveler. Do you dispute this, Alhaitham?
What?
Like many parts of the project, this assignment was undocumented. Now throw in your suspicious behavior with the divine knowledge.
Yes. I was indeed tasked with investigating the traveler.
Alhaitham!
After all, the promised reward was so great that hardly any scholar could have refused. The sage told me, once you...
The most enticing offer.
Unfortunately, those academics don't know me at all. Their words contained one key piece of information, namely that divine knowledge indeed... From my perspective, the sages are far from trustworthy. Think about it. Isn't it a little strange they're so willing to share divine knowledge with anyone? Even so, I began my own investigation following the lead of the divine knowledge capsule. In the end, I realized my wisdom in committing to... Had I been less guarded, I probably would have ended up like that Ain al-Ahmar mercenary, incapable of remaining sane for long enough to hold a conversation.
You mean that the sages originally planned to dispose of you, using one of those capsules that drive people insane?
I'd already given up on the assignment by then. I only told the Academia I was waiting in Port Ormos for you to appear so they wouldn't suspect anything. So it came as quite a surprise when I encountered my erstwhile target while investigating the divine knowledge.
Criminals do love to talk about coincidence.
Even though I ran into the traveler by chance, I had no intention of providing assistance to the Academia. You were the ones who decided to follow me and strike up a conversation after I left that tavern.
That's true. Alhaitham helped us out at Caravan Rebat as well.
I'm willing to apologize, if that's worth anything to you. I took the divine knowledge capsule behind your back because I judged its existence to be a significant risk. I felt that it would be best for no one to interact with it before it had... After all, curiosity often proves to be the most dangerous thing.
You should be well aware, Scribe Alhaitham, that curiosity can... Answer me this. Did the sages share any...
Have I not made myself clear? You and I are both distrusted by the Academia.
Fine. Although you haven't completely proven your innocence, I won't regard you as an enemy.
As you wish.
Good. I'm glad. And now you, Dia. I believe...
Oh, sorry. Whatever the boys were talking about, my situation is pretty straightforward. My employer, Dunyarzad of the Homayani family, is friends with the traveler. I had nothing going on, so I decided to return to our village for a visit. I was but then I saw these two random guys in the middle of a pointless...
Is that all? Well, I will admit...
That's more like it.
Whoa! What was that?
No need to worry. Now that you're no longer at each other's throats, please make yourselves at home.
creature?
Fighting in a sandstorm is not for the faint-hearted. Anyone without extensive training in these conditions is at a disadvantage.
Yeah, just leave him to Candace. Don't worry.
The winds died down. That means the sandstorm. Candace still isn't back yet, though.
When you put it that way, even I'm starting to feel a little worried.
Oh, Candace!
Yes. They just keep coming in waves. I've lost count of how many I've defeated. Before I realized it, even the sand...
Leave this I'll be sure to put on a good show. Let's go!
By royal decree... Can't have your drink. Here comes another wave. When are they ever gonna let up? The creature stopped appearing.
What we fought just now was probably the aftermath of the sandstorm. So we should be safe.
Well fought, everyone. No injuries, I hope.
Huh?
Ah, my apologies. I haven't had a chance to greet you yet. I had my hands full. I am the chief of Aru Village. Everyone...
Sir, I am also originally from the desert, but I have not been back for some time now. May I ask if such sandstorms are
I can't say they've always been common, but recently, besides sandstorms, we also occasionally get earthquakes. According to an investigator who stayed in the village a while...
Another... So, Irminsul's withering causes withering zones in the forest, and...
Everything in the natural world is inextricably connected.
Everyone in Aru Village, speaking of which...
Village Keeper? Who are they?
Does your curiosity know no bounds? Most of them are scholars who lost their sanity. The academia believes that their crazed mutterings may have a negative effect on...
Alas, but no one in the village...
I've had encounters with those people.
The mantra.
Mock me if you will, but if you are guilty...
Oh, you're the former General Mahamatra. You must be...
Is it because you're reminded of Hypatia? Oh, these... But, is it really a good idea?
I'll be grateful for the assistance. No, I'd start by finding a spot to share what we... Although I've sent myself into exile, I'm still doing it. Do you still have any questions for me before we... One of my former subordinates told me that this title has its... The academia has long exiled mad scholars to Aru Village. When mad scholars first arrive, they are as incoherent and deranged as before. Initially, the people of Aru Village greatly resented having to take in the mad scholars. Aru Village was struck by the strongest earthquake in living memory. Seeing buildings on the verge of collapse all around him, suddenly, he noticed a mad scholar crouching in a corner, caressing the ground with his hands. A soft, green light radiated from, despite the powerful tremors that ripped through the ground that night. All the house after that, the people of Aru village treated the mad scholars with greater...
A soft green light? A mad scholar protecting Aru village? Paimon thinks so too. Actually, Sino, do you know if any of the mad...
In theory, they would continue wearing them so the academia could still monitor their activities.
Oh, no wonder! Everything makes sense then!
If you are able to draw a conclusion from this one story alone... So, what do you make of the story? Really?
What? You don't believe us? Lesser Lord Kusanali was definitely...
No, it's not so much that I don't believe you. Lesser Lord Kusanali, the current Dendro Archon. The Academia has always placed far greater importance on the late Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. In addition, I've never heard any stories about Lesser Lord Kusanali and her
No way! Nahida definitely exists! She's a... How should Paimon put it? She's a good Archon who's kind and wise. Even if she says weird stuff sometimes.
I've spent many years interrogating criminals, so I can eat...
Good! Then you should know that we...
That look in your eyes. I've never seen... How can this be? To think. Our arc...
Alright, now it's our turn to put our skills to good use, but easier said than done. Excuse me, are you... Huh?
By the sounds of it, a resident of this village.
My name is Isak.
Is your grandpa mad?
Hey, don't say that. Grandpa is just Grandpa. Why do you have to call him that? It's not like he's a bad person or anything.
The person you're referring to is not a local.
Grandpa is just Grandpa. I heard everything you said to the village.
Ah, so you're the one who was eavesdropping on us, or... I was planning to...
Whoa. Hatham wasn't kidding about Matra having sharp senses. Sino! Sorry, I was...
All right. But...
Sino is super...
Ah, you're back already.
We just wanted to confirm something with you.
Huh? You...
Yes. Although he tried his best to stay hidden, Isak's parents were both Aramite mercenaries who rarely returned to the village after finding him. Unfortunately, it was only a few years before his grandpa passed away. Isak was still very... Later, an elderly mad scholar arrived at the village. Isak thought the scholar bore a striking resemblance to his However, the scholar was unkempt in appearance and incoherent in speech. Although Isak referred to the man as his grandpa, one summer night, the oft mumbling and bumbling grandpa suddenly calmed down and seemed to... So grandpa walked up to Isak and patted him on the head. He even took Isak to the entrance of the village, where he patiently The next morning, Isak woke up and wanted to go find his grandpa again, only to realize it's said that those who saw the scholar claimed he no longer appeared to be crazy. Isak was thrilled that his grandpa was able to find peace and would follow him all...
All this somehow just makes Paimon feel really sad.
Perhaps. Nearly everyone who lives in the desert has some form of hardship or regret. But even so, it's also my reason for fighting. I must...
Maybe the people have always had a considerate god watching over them.
Huh? What did...
No, nothing. As long as you saw...
Perhaps you are more compassionate than I gave you credit for.
Isak? Oh, it's you, We've cleared everything up. Really? Yeah.
All right.
Galerinha, concluímos aí a missão. Espero que vocês tenham gostado. Deixa aquele like, se inscreva no canal. Caso você não seja inscrito, vídeo todos os dias, ative aí o sininho das notificações para você receber a notificação dos vídeos. E a gente se vê no próximo vídeo. Valeu, falou e fui!